You were awesome in this place. Yeah. Lord, you are awesome in this place. You are awesome in this place. Faithful God.
Hello viewers, you are watching GAM television and we are on the show Very One-on-One. Some weeks ago we brought you a program on young people with disabilities and the possibilities that are there. This is a follow-up program that we are going to bring to you. Stay tuned because you wouldn't want to miss any of these informations. I will welcome the panel of the program today. Ladies, you are welcome. Well, Mira and Claire, I think you introduced yourself the first time you were here, but for the sake of those who will be watching us for the first time, you can still tell us a bit about yourself and the project that you are doing.
And we are doing a project for the TGD to give information about mental disability and what kind of possibilities there are for them for future planning about work and living on your own, administration. We will give some information about it.
Yeah, and I'm Claire and I'm a social worker, and I have worked long at primary schools as a social worker, and now I'm working with families. And I do with Mira this project.
Well, thank you very much, Mira and Claire. Well, viewers, as we promised you in the last program, that we are going to invite a mother who is also going to share her experience with us. We are fortunate to have our own sister. I think most of you know her already, but I will let her introduce herself to you. Masha, you are welcome to GAM Television.
Thank you. I'm glad you called me on this to comment on my view about my daughter. Viewers, my name is Doris Marshall and I'm on this program with Veronica because what they are doing now is for me. It is about me, I should say, because it's me all over again. My story is very difficult to tell, but it's a story that needs to be told. And I'm glad that you've given this platform to share my thoughts.
Yeah, I want to say a very big thank you, and I really admire you in our community because you know, a lot of us, it's a lot of parents with special kids, but everybody is just, if you invite somebody to even come on the show to talk about things like this, it's very difficult. Yeah. So I salute you. Thanks. And I appreciate you that you've come to share this information with us, and I know this will also help other mothers and also encourage others out there. Thank you very much for coming.
Yeah, it was a long journey. Before you can come out and say something, you've been through a lot. So I would not discourage any mother out there who needs to go through their own, it's a process. You deny things, and then you come to a moment where you say, okay, this is it. I have to move on. So it's a process. So if a parent is at home and can't, or is not ready to talk about it, it's also fine. That is part of the healing. It's a stage that a mother has to go through, or people have to go through, people with handicaps have to go through, so that they, in the end, will come out okay. But that's how it should be, I think, in my own. Well, that's my experience. I denied it. I said, this is not why me in the first place. Why me? Why should this happen to me? Things like this don't happen to people like me.
Yeah.
And then the next step is, okay, deny it. This is just a dream. I'll wake up and
It's
it's
not
fine.
happening.
It's not happening. and then you come to the next stage of anger. I get angry without any reason because this shouldn't happen to me, so it has happened, and then I get angry. So the emotions, they are everywhere. So I think if a mother is at home at this moment and listening to us, and you are in that state, it's also okay.
It's a process.
It's a process you have to go through, and in the end, you'll be okay.
Thank you.
That's why we even have these two ladies to take you through when you need them.
Yeah.
And it's not a push thing, it's something that you will realize yourself because there is this help and people are there to hold your hand when you're ready.
Yeah.
So I think that's something
Yeah.
you should know.
Well, that is it. There is help out there, but we don't know. And especially at this moment, most of the, the children I know are getting to the 18 years.
Yeah,
And
I'm
I've
sure.
been there also myself because I didn't have any idea what to do. Mira, I would really want us to talk more about the preparation towards the 18 years because I know there's a lot of things to do because I've been there. I mean, you have to go to the court, you have to arrange some things which I didn't even know. You know, so this is an opportunity for us. If you can tell us before your child gets to 18, do you need something to do before, or you have to wait until he or she is 18 before you start with the preparations?
Okay, well, when your child becomes 18, is thinking about is your child able to earn a minimum income? Because some children, when they have a chronic illness or a handicap, they are not able to work. And then you can apply for a Valium welfare. But it takes a long time to apply for it. They have
6
to
months.
they have to do a lot of research to see what the handicap is, and they talk with the house doctor, for example, and with the therapist. And,
So
it
if
takes
I
6 months.
understand you very
Yeah.
well, when your child is 17
Yeah.
17 and a half,
Yes.
Yeah.
you have to
To
start.
start directly.
And how do you
Yeah.
start?
You can go to the UWV,
You yourself,
or it's better to ask help with it. And you can go to May,
okay.
and they have consulting hours at Stadsdeelkantoor every Tuesday morning from 9 to 1.
9 to.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's also Barbara Williams, and she speaks Twi as well, and she can help you with the application.
Okay.
Because if you are if your child is 17 and a half, you have to make a kind of a checklist because you have to think about health insurance, DigiD code, that's for all the papers and things, and you have to think about where my child will be living. So maybe a registration at Woningnet or Kamernet, if your child can be living alone, and maybe when your child can maybe study, you have to apply for a student grant. So that are things to think about and arrange that kind of things.
And I know when the child is 18, you can't be a parent anymore. And you have to go to the court to do some arrangements.
Yeah.
Do you have to do all those things also before the 18 years?
Well, and not every parent with a disabled child has to go to court. It's, I think it was for bewindvoering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Where your child will not be able to do his own administration or his own payments, you can apply for bewindvoering. And then someone is taking over the responsibility, is doing all the payments and is doing the administration, and give your child like pocket money. So it takes off the responsibility and only give a small amount of money for your daily living. And for that you have to go to court, yes. Yeah. But you can also ask May, someone to help you.
With that.
Yeah. And you also have mentorship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the difference between the event folder and the mental stuff?
Yeah, but mentorship is when you can't take your own choices.
To make the decisions for
to
them.
make to decisions for them, yes,
Okay.
indeed. For example, to which, where you are going to live, or what kind of help you need. They will help you with decisions.
Okay. So before
Or they
18,
take the decisions, yeah?
Or they can take
Yeah, so
decisions.
mentorship is more heavy.
More heavy.
Yeah.
but you can be both.
Yeah, but but you as a parent can also
Yeah.
take the decisions for your child. But when you're not able to take those, then you can apply for mentorship.
Okay.
Let's step back with
Yeah.
mentorship, and the other one is bewings food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bewings food, mother you still have a control, but then you have somebody who is helping the child to manage the administration of it.
Yes, but he's taking over the responsibility. So you're not doing your own payments at all, or your own administration. Someone is doing that for you. And if your child only needs a little bit of help with it, then you can go to MADI, for example.
Okay, because okay, my son is 18 years.
Yeah.
You know, it was strange when they told me I have to go to court, and if you see the way the judges were like, they want to make sure I'll be able to be in the position. Me taking care of my child for 18 years,
Yeah.
and the event folder. So they asked me what it means, what I think I have to do, and then the mentor's cap and those things. So you don't need an outsider to do these things for you. As a parent, you can be the event folder for your child and also the mentor's cap,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Can a parent just do that for if the child wants?
If the
If
child
the
wants.
child wants, yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
If the child
Detail.
because
If
the
the
child
child-
is
yeah,
18,
because-
it's allowed to choose.
Yeah, because some of
Yeah.
the handicapped children, they know everything and they want to do everything. So
Yeah.
you can't just make a decision for them. They have to be involved with this decision making.
Yeah.
And some of them want to be involved with the decision making.
Yes.
Okay, so if the child is capable of doing that, they don't need this court thing.
No. You still need.
Yeah.
She still needs help. Like my daughter, for instance, she needs help, but doesn't mean she needs help that she will shut up and you, or she will keep her mouth shut and you do everything for her. No, not that help she wants. She wants you to help her while she's helping herself, but she wants you to, like, what she can't do, she wants you to be there to do.
Yes.
But everything has to come from her.
Okay.
So if your daughter likes help from you,
Mhm.
then you can give the help and you don't need
If
a
she
bid
doesn't
for
want
that.
it from you, then
Okay, so then this court thing,
Yeah.
then you still have to be the event folder,
No.
and then you can still help your
You can
child with
just
the
help.
decisions.
You can just help your child, and
you only have to give help. I'm understanding you because I'm seeing it from the point of view of Sid.
Mhm.
She wants to take control of her own life, any Ricky in hand. That means she wants to make her own decisions. She tells me, like, I of the computer can Alice do. That means she can do it on the computer. So even the computer, I have to set it on for her. I have to plug it in and everything. But after you do that for her, it's enough. So just imagine a child like that and you want to take over. That would be difficult. Then she has to say, okay, you can help me on this part and the other part, let me do it on my own.
yeah.
And that's where and she's a teenage, so it works. And it becomes difficult.
But
How
some
old is
parents.
she now?
17 and a half.
Oh, so you have to start getting
Yeah, so we will help you. Because it's a lot.
Yeah.
So I have to start.
Yeah.
We have to start. I and Sydney have to
Yeah.
start this. I never have to say we. I have to start without.
We.
But she'll be probably watching this and she wouldn't like it if I say I have to. No. It's a
Together.
good thing, yeah.
Okay. Well, adofo a mo hwe yent samre. Me say ntuatu a yebusu ya ene ya ye wo emma. Me fan say omo disabilities. Ene nyame adom yenya baba wa mienu yo mo cheche ye niema bie no so ti ansa na akola ne benya 18 years no niema bebre wo ho a ese woye eti say one singer for social na wo arrange ono bo de normal a fast and kola bebre enim so wo ye eti say ubisa msi bibi de why you na kwa akoye bibi ti say social ye GGB because we are onye enye possible ema akola ne so be ye adwuma nti ese ono so onya sika a ese ne ntare tomu ne maniema anka 18 ese nko ye adwuma ese ono atumi totono oyare nti ontumi nti aban ewo bibi ese ono automatically no okose na ye friend social yemu nti ono no asa no benya 18 no ese wo yes arrangement nyina ema no ina akola so a ebi ono ntumi make a decision bia no ono na ese wo court because onya 18 na wonya awofu bio tese wo court omo friend no be vent folder na court fo no bi sound sem no mo hwe say from 18 wa betumi ahwe ana ese ye pendi pa foforo e won che na obehwe wo ba no nti mesre wa wofu a ye wo nkola with this special needs no kola benya 18 na nema bebre wo ho a ese woye bebre wo ho a ye nim ye confusing nti not to cost Thursday every Tuesday and
in the morning.
Tuesday in the morning
till
from
9 to 1
and only once in a week.
Yes, once in a week.
Okay, every Tuesday Benade Bia from 9 o'clock to 1 Okos Thursday inside one they be locate who be our reception one on betu obi wo ho ya ye nua ga na ni so kwa ye adwuma Barbara Williams on betu mi a church on ye me bie ni so wo contact so wo mayor wo so social worker no se me be onya 17 and half into GNS ye de wo ho bia no so be church timpa mo chomo menya ye hi asem men twa ma 18 ni ndu na ne ma bebre embobo wo so. Okay, let's move on to work and education. What are the possibilities that are there for young people with disabilities?
For education, you can, for example, go to the LOC, and they have education on all levels, and even at a very low level, and it's very practical. For example, you learn how to repair a bike, and then you can become an assistant to a bike repairer, or you can learn to work in security or do something with administration, but all on very low level.
Yeah, working in a bakery.
Yeah. And they call it level 1 study. But you will also have level 2, and it's a bit more complicated. But with these studies, you don't have to read much. It's more that you learn by doing.
Yeah, practical.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so they have schools that they do more practical things for them to get more chance of working.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Okay, and Masha, when we are talking about education, and how is it like for
my daughter?
Yeah, at the moment.
Yeah, Sydney is now in Helumare in Waikanse. She's doing her VMBO, and she's doing well. She works with computer and administration.
Oh, administration. Yeah.
Oh, she even did stage here. She had to stage here.
That's good.
Like over school that she had to do, and she did stage here. So it was a very nice experience for her.
And also she's a very smart girl.
And also for me, it was a very good experience for me, and I was happy because she was able to have that opportunity. But what I can say more is that, you know, for children with disabilities, like my sibling, it's sometimes very difficult what you have envisioned for your child and what is reality. But then you learn, like I said, the process comes and you learn that, hey, this is not possible, this is possible. So you go in with the positivity, and therefore you accept what it's the reality.
Yeah.
Like Sydney goes to school and she's doing with computers, but she can't speak much, so she uses Prata apparat, wizard.
Yeah.
She uses a wizard that they connect to the computer and then she can
Do her
do
thing.
her work
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
the computer. And at home too, she can check the
Yeah.
Facebook and
Mm.
that sort of thing. So it's very nice to see
Yeah.
that at least she's not in her own
Isolement,
yeah, she's not isolated. She can have friends
Yeah.
and she goes to school faires, those sort of. So it's very nice to
Yeah.
see. I mean, a child with disability, but yet involved with school activities and school camp and school everything that school is doing. It's and Lumano is of a place where they help the children. Really,
Yeah.
they have therapy, and because of the hospital there.
Ah, yeah.
That's-
Yeah.
So they have everything there for them. So
Yeah.
even though they are having education, they still have their therapy
Mm.
and everything combined.
It's a
Very
great
nice.
Yeah, because it's very, the thing is, there are some things in life that we take for granted,
Yeah.
When you have a child with disability, and the little things, my son is so big. I remember on the 17th or 16th birthday of my son, when I went to the school, they told me, Veronica, we have a surprise for you. I said, oh? And then they said, okay, Stanley, a drinker? Because I feed him, I do everything for him.
Mm.
And they say, yeah, and then he just put drink in the beaker, and he just packed it, and then himself, for 16 years, he was able to drink by himself. That's a picture I have on my telephone. And it was like that, it's big.
Yeah.
The best gift, birthday gift,
Yeah.
the little things that, it's so big,
That's really true.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
big thing. Yeah.
It's,
It's
wow.
independency, for him. Yeah.
So I don't know what she's talking about.
Yeah.
Because something that you don't expect, the when it start coming,
It's big.
your heart, yeah.
And also the small things that your kid does, it's for you.
Yeah.
And you always want to make your child, you want to be proud of your child, and you want the whole world to know what
Yeah.
she can do, how best she can do.
Yeah.
And you boast with her.
Yeah.
For some people, I know where I come from, I didn't know people with handicap, children. I didn't know them. If they were there, I didn't know. They were hidden from me. But then I came here and I have a child with disability, and I've entered into another world. And maybe if I didn't have my sibling, I wouldn't have known anything about the handicap, because I'll be naive like anybody else. But now I have Sydney and I have another world. I'm in another world and I see things differently. Everything that she does for me is like, even when Sydney write a poem on the computer and on her Facebook, and other people see it, they call me, hey, from London, from States. Hey, Sydney posted this, have you read it? I said, I'm not allowed to go on her. So you don't want the mama to come.
Yeah.
So those things are things that the small things that just it's nothing, but it's then something. To me, it's big.
Yeah, and it gives you positive energy.
Yeah.
Because it
that's
says
what
something
I'm
about their independence. Yeah, they can do it alone.
The whole drive about taking care of my child, like I said, you go through these phases. First, you have this issue with acceptance, and then you come to realize this is my life now. I have to move on, even though I have a handicapped child, and my child is making positive steps. So what do I do from there? I'm taking her positivity to go forward, and then hope that the things I'll do will also reflect on her positively. And since that attitude, mindset, since that came in, I think I'm free and I'm okay with things, and I don't see things the way people see them. I'm kind of different, weird in my own way, and I love it.
And I think it helps your daughter a lot.
And that helps my daughter to develop.
Yeah.
Little development that she's doing, it helps me. So you see, when I had to come here today, she said to me, Mama, als je daar komt, weet je wat je moet, de vragen stellen die je moet vragen. Ik moet je een paar vragen moet je stellen aan die mensen. Ik zeg, when she saw you on the TV the last time she watched it.
Okay.
So she tells me what I have to ask. I said, what? Oh, describe it all. He said, yeah, vertel, ik weet het, vertel. So she told him. First, you have to ask about, ik word bijna acting. So you have to ask about why you and my... En straks wil ik ook uit huis wonen. Daar moet je over praten. You have to talk about my living home. I said, maar nog niet.
That I don't want.
I'm not ready, you know.
But she is thinking about the future.
But she said to me, not now, not today, not next year, but something that will happen. So we have to
Wow.
prepare
Special.
ourselves for that.
Yeah.
So she gives me the energy to think outside my box.
Yeah.
Sometimes scary, but that's what I'm saying. If a parent is at home and you have a child who is disabled or have some disabilities, because it's not only severe handicap, or some people have this autism. It's something you don't realize. It's there.
Yeah.
So when your child is identified with such disability, it doesn't mean life ends there. There are so many things they can do too.
Yeah.
Because my daughter goes to school, where she goes to school, there are also children with other disabilities, not body, but in other ways. And they are all having their place.
Yeah.
There's a place for everyone.
Yeah.
Because we had it about the subject work, and there are two other important things to know.
Yeah.
Because if you are able to work like 14 hours by weeks, you can go to UWV and ask for a job coach.
Yeah.
And a job coach can arrange things for you and can make arrangement at the workplace so you can work there with your disability.
Yeah.
And he can support you. So that's important to know for you as a parent. Is my child good enough to work like 14 hours a week? Then you can go to the UWV.
Maybe a good thing to mention, because you told that your daughter has a kind of adjustment on the computer that she can.
We said that she used to.
Because she can't talk well.
She can't talk well. Yeah.
A job coach can think with your daughter, what kind of adjustments can we make that you can work? So what kind of things do you need to work? And maybe she can earn her income then.
I don't think.
Yeah,
but
for
you can
consult
consult.
Yeah, that's really true. That's really true. But I think for me, the first thing that I would need as a parent, and I hope that most parents who are getting to the 18 years, the scary thing is like I hear that you have to go to the court for. So it has become like, ooh, whoa, this is too much.
Yeah.
But then talking about it now has given me an idea that okay, it's not that bad. I mean, every stage that we get to, there's that we cross.
Yeah.
About this court thing, because my neighbor told me she didn't go to the court herself, but a lawyer arranged it. Is this something like that?
That's possible.
For what?
For the event folder.
For the event folder.
Yes.
Well, a lawyer can come with you, but I don't think a lawyer can do it on his own.
Without you not going to the court?
No, I think it's important that you go there as well.
Okay.
Because then they can hear your story. It's important they hear your story from yourself and not from another person. So if you can go to the court, and it's not, because I also went a lot of times to the court for my profession, but the court, it's not scary or something. It's like a social institute. But many people connect it with criminality and that kind of things. But it's a social institution also. It takes care of you, and you have to go there to arrange that kind of things. And and you have also to think about it. A lot of young adults cannot go to school or college, but they like to go to do daytime activities at a communal house. But it's important that you know you need then also a CIZ indication.
Yeah.
And that you have to arrange, and somebody from Maine can also help you with
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. But you always need an indication
Yeah.
if you would like to have professional support paid by the government.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sydney question we need to answer before we forget
Yes.
about the living arrangements.
Living arrangement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What are the possibilities?
Yes. You can live in a communal house.
What is that?
And then you have a big house, and all you have your own room, but you share the kitchen together and the living room together and bathroom, and you will get professional help with cooking, for example, and but also with planning, that you go on the right time to your school or to your work, and you do the tasks together.
Yeah, like cooking or
Yeah.
washing.
Yeah, let me ask you,
Yes.
still on Sydney
Yeah.
point. When a child like Sydney, she can't do all those things. She needs help.
Yeah,
She needs
Like
care.
20,
Yeah.
yeah, she
Yeah.
needs care 24/7.
That's also possible.
yeah, that's also
Even though
possible.
she can do things with her mind on
Mhm.
things that's different, but then the things that we take for granted, taking something or eating,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
those things has to be helped.
Yeah.
And if she's going to live in a communal place, will she get all those help?
Yes.
Like
Possible,
she-
yes.
Yes.
You have houses for people with a mild handicap, but also for people with a
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
severe handicap.
And they get more support then.
Yeah.
And it's also nice because they do together activities. They go out in the weekend and
Yeah.
in the vacation they do things, but they have their professional support. And so, a lot of times you get your own mentor there, your
Yeah.
contact persons for your family, so you can make a plan. Sometimes they make also a plan. What do you want to do here? What do you want to do outside? So they know who are you and what do you want to do.
And do you need to be on the waiting list for this kind of houses?
Yes.
For
Yes.
how long? Is it like
Well,
2
it's
years?
not that long. It's from about 1 to 2 years.
Okay.
And when you would like to live in Amsterdam, the
Mhm.
waiting list is longer than outside.
Yeah.
So there are
There are people
places
choosing
outside Amsterdam.
to go to another place outside in the forest or something, more nature.
My daughter told me she doesn't want to go outside Amsterdam.
Yeah.
It's roasting.
She has to
Ah.
register
It's
now.
roasting. It's roasting
Yeah.
down. Like you
Right.
can see, it's roasting.
For example, Amersfoort or around Almere or places like that,
Yeah.
you also have houses.
But Amsterdam is
Yeah.
place to-
Yeah.
But then you have to
Yeah.
know that's 2 years
Yeah.
waiting list.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and some people choose to put their child on the waiting list because you can always say
Always
put my
say.
child off the waiting list.
So when
And they do it for security.
Yeah.
Then they know if something happened to me,
Yeah.
my child has to
that's what I was saying. Sometimes you are not ready to say, okay, I'm going to put. Even you are not ready to put your child on the waiting list.
Yeah.
It's emotional thing.
Yes, it's a really emotional
But
thing.
it's, yeah.
For me, it was not easy to say, okay, even when my daughter has to use rosto, lettuce rosto,
Yeah.
she was using a Gowon rosto, dual rosto.
Mhm.
And I wanted, and the school and the ergotherapist and my daughter, they all thought, oh, she can use lettuce rosto, she can be free, she can move herself. I was not ready for it.
Mhm.
I was thinking she's going to walk, so let's
It's
wait.
difficult, yeah.
Yeah.
I would not let her go
No.
and use lettuce rosto.
can
If
understand
If I give in to say she's going to use electric, that
It
means
means you decided that
Yeah.
so
I
it
know
for
the
me.
feeling.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
So it took me also another. So that's why I'm saying parents at home,
Process. It's a
sometimes
process.
these things are process that you
Yeah.
have to go through.
Yeah.
And whatever your feelings are, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay for that moment.
Yeah.
But then you will come to realize that okay, I think I'm doing harm than good.
Yeah.
If I let my child use lettuce roast, she'll go and
Yeah.
self-standing to
Yeah.
shoot.
More
One time,
independent.
so I had to give in for that, and it wasn't easy. Now I'm telling it like it was like, oh, this thing. No, and then I accepted. I know I didn't accept. If I say accepted, then it was like I couldn't. So she got the lettuce roast too, and then I saw that she moved. She go then it's okay.
Yeah.
So those are the things that I want us to know, that
Yeah.
I know that most people at home have the same feeling I had, because giving in, it's like you've accepted
given up.
something, you've given up something. But that is not it. It's
No.
just those things are there to ease the pressure on
Yeah.
you.
Indeed.
Yeah.
But sometimes I see that parents wait too long. They wait till the care becomes too heavy.
Yeah.
And you can better. Yeah, it's not their fault. But it's
No.
not your fault.
No.
I know.
Yeah.
The day they brought me a tail lift to carry Stanley,
But that's a big thing in your house. And
Yeah.
I cried.
You see, but it's
Because I have in my heart, God, he's going to work. When I'm going to, what, should I use a machine to carry my son?
Yeah.
So I try to do it myself until I have a
And the
bad
back
pain.
pain. Yeah.
You know, but the physiotherapy also said, okay, with the transporting from the bed to the road stool, sometimes he helps when he have the schooner, and then he put the leg down if he wants. And then he stands upright, so he just swish. So I think when I'm using the tail lift, it's like, if I do it like that, then I'm helping him with his legs, because I know he's going to stand. I know in my heart he's going to walk and talk.
You have your own plan.
So I said, no, the tail lift means I've decided that he's just going to lie. So I recognize what she's saying.
That's how it,
You know?
most of the time.
Yeah.
You think it will be okay, so you can't accept.
You
Even
don't
when
accept
there's
the help.
help there, you can't accept it.
Yeah.
It's like accepting the help means you've agreed that this is what it is.
the situation. I understand.
Passive instead of.
So I think, but my daughter said, Mama, I need this, because she needs it
Yeah.
for her. But now I realize after I see that, oh, it was just doing her hand, it was holding her behind.
Yeah.
Now she can, when we go to port, Amsterdam port, and she's there with you, and before you know she's gone. Maybe you go into the ring, some shops have small gates, and she cannot come in with a bit. And then she stand outside a little bit, she's gone. One time, I asked a friend to take her out, and then I think the friend went to the shop, and she stayed longer in the shop something. And before we know it, she was gone. She came home.
That's
Yeah,
right.
she's older, so she can come from Amsterdam, so she can come.
Yeah.
And then she came home.
Yeah.
So if I had not given her the opportunity to use the electric force, and I was hampering her, like we push her, we wouldn't have known that she can do things on her own like that.
Yeah, that's a good thing.
It's very
So sometimes, even though the help is there, it's for us also as parents, this is a difficult thing for us to do, but we still have to know when we need help, and these are the things that we need to help our children move forward.
You asked me about all the possibilities for living on your own and the support you can get.
Yeah.
And one thing I didn't mention yet, you can also live in your own apartment. And then or with your parents, and get professional help there.
And live with your parents in the same house and get the professional help also. Home. Explain it.
It's called ambulante begeleiding.
Care at home. And but you need an indication for that as well.
There's everything you need indication.
That's Dutch, huh?
That's Dutch. That's really Dutch.
A lot of paperwork. But
Yeah,
then
we are
also
famous
go to
about.
May for help with that.
Okay.
And also subject, it comes close to arranging everything, administration and budget planning. We talked a lot about what you have to arrange. You have to think, can my child do the administration on his own or not? And May can give you a lot of advice about that. And also May gives courses about budget, about money to young people. So you can also go to May and say, I want to have a course. And
also about to learn practical skills about living on your own. For people with a mild mental disability, they can learn then there some practical skills. And for budget planning and administration. Yeah.
And
Ma-
who gives that training?
May.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Mali is also possible. They do also a lot about budget planning and if you have debt, you can also go to May and to Mali and ask what are the possibilities to help me.
Okay.
And Mali
Paperwork.
and Mali has almost every day you can just walk in.
Without any appointment.
Without an appointment, every morning from 9 to 11, and on Tuesday and Thursday afternoon you can go there. And their big office, they have a lot of offices in Amsterdam Southeast, but they have a big office near Kraaiennest.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the street.
Yeah.
But is Mali also in the stadium?
I don't think so.
What? Mali?
In het stadsdeelkantoor.
No. They have their big, they have also a lot of people working in buurthuizen, in the
Community centers.
Yeah.
community centers. So they are at 10 points in Southeast, they work. So but their big office where you can just almost walk in every day is nearby Kraaiennest.
Okay. I want us to talk about friends and relationships.
Yeah, because that's a big subject.
I know it's already even not easy when you don't even have disabilities.
Yeah.
What are the opportunities for people with disabilities when it comes to friendship?
It can be, for some people it can be difficult to make friends because you have a handicap, and what I often see is that or they are lonely, they don't have much friends, or sometimes people are taking advantage of them because they so much want friends that other people think, oh, I can let them do this for me and this for me, and
They are really vulnerable.
yeah, they can be a bit vulnerable, and sometimes they even go into criminal things because of
People
so
use
much.
them.
Yes.
People use them. They so much want to have friends that they
They
do anything. Yes.
So it's really important they do things they like. They have hobbies. Because if they don't have hobbies, they go hanging out the streets and do not nice things. So it's really important they do nice things. And you can go to two good web pages to find friends. And that is Stichting Prisma and Vriendenkringen.
Yeah.
That is especially for people with disabilities.
Yes.
Yeah. And they organize activities, all kind of activities, like going out together,
Vacations.
or vacation, yes, or sport, or cultural things.
Okay. And these clubs arrange this kind of activities for them?
Yeah.
Okay, so then they are within the people of their own level.
Yeah, indeed.
I think that's
and they don't have to feel ashamed for their disability.
Yeah.
Also a big thing is, of course, you as a parent think a lot about the future and my child, how is it to find a partner, and that's also a big thing to think about. And you have also web page,
special dating sites.
Special dating sites, and they secure, they are
for them.
Yeah, for them.
Okay.
And they are a bit more safe because on other dating sites, it's a bit the same. Some people are taking advantage of them. They say, well, okay, they are a bit more vulnerable. But you have dating sites for people with a handicap. And for example, May dating, it's from May.
Okay.
But maybe we can show the web pages.
We'll write it under the screen. So they know, okay, you can date, but if you go on this site, it's safe, secured, right?
Yeah.
I'm still on this Sydney thing.
Yes.
When can you do the registration for the waiting list for the living? You have to wait till it's 18, or you can do it before.
No, I'm almost sure you have to wait till someone is 18.
Until
Yeah.
18.
Yeah, yeah,
Before you wait for 2 years.
yeah.
Yeah.
Again.
1 to 2 years.
1 to 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that you can register also with the woninnet, you said?
Yeah.
At
Kamernet.
18,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, to get your own place.
Yeah.
And how long does that take?
That takes a long time. 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah, yeah.
So just try it by friends or neighbor or in your church, because that's for all people in
Yeah.
Amsterdam the best way to
Yeah.
find it.
To find a house,
house.
or a room.
And
Yeah.
yeah, because it's everybody wants to live in Amsterdam.
Yeah, but if, for
Yeah.
instance, if I'm going back to my daughter again,
Yeah.
if like a child wants to, you want after school, and then she wants to go at house, like senior says, can she go and live like a place, for instance, like in an installing where they can,
Yeah. Yeah.
all the care is there and
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
that's
an
possible.
installing that she's comfortable with?
Yes,
Yeah.
it's like Heliomar. You have to.
Yeah, they have.
It's like the same there. They have all kind of activities in the houses, or they do it maybe outside. But
Yeah.
she can. Yeah.
And maybe you can ask advice at Heliomade. Yeah. What place they would
Yeah.
advise, because they know your daughter well.
Yeah.
And maybe they know a good house for her.
Well, before I let you go, it's getting almost to vacation, and there are a lot of parents with people with special needs and kids,
Yeah.
and also a time maybe the child have to go and share house to let the other family go. But if you really want to go with your child with disabilities, what are the opportunities also there?
Well, it depends of the handicap of your child, of course.
Okay.
But for example, center parks. I
Yeah.
think? Yeah. then-
Well, I know you guys are inside, so
Yeah.
the viewers have to know.
Center Parks had some, is having some houses, especially made for people with a physical handicap. So that's possible, but you also have places where you can camp
Yeah.
with your children, or
Yeah.
where special, how do you say, activities are
Yeah.
for people with a handicap.
Or your child can also go alone on vacation. Also
Yeah.
your child. That is
Yeah.
by the Zonnebloem and Stichting Bielewaal.
Yeah.
There are two.
Bielewaal is a nice
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. So there are a lot of possibilities, and your consult at May, or you can ask May also what are all the possibilities, because you have also look at your budget, because you can go expensive, or you can
Yeah.
go low budget on vacation.
Yeah, talking about the budget,
Yeah.
because if you have a child with disabilities and you are going on a holiday, like for my child, there are a lot of special things we
Yeah.
need, special things,
Yeah.
and you know.
Yeah.
Is there any way that you can get help from any funds?
For a holiday, it's difficult.
For
Yeah.
holidays
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
difficult.
Yeah.
You have some places where they support you if you go there, but that are special places, but you have not like funds or not a lot who support that. That's a pity, but it's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
There were, but I don't know them anymore. No.
Okay.
And one more thing, it's important when you have really a diagnosed child with autistic,
Yeah.
it's really important because there exists the Autipas. And you can ask May to help you ask the Autipas, because your child can put that in his or her wallet, and people outside or in other countries can look at the child when there's something happening. Oh, this child or this person is autistic. So that
Yeah. Maybe I have to explain a little bit why that can be practical.
yeah.
Because when a child shows other behavior than normal, sometimes authorities think, oh, what is happening with her or him? And for example, police on the street or at the airport, and then someone can show, well, I'm autistic. I have this card, so that's why I, for example, don't allow people to touch me, or I want to be alone, or But also for other handicaps, you can ask your house doctor to put the diagnosis on a letter and that you put it in the wallet of your child. That when some trouble, when your child is in trouble, he can show, okay, I have
This is my problem.
Okay. So maybe he just go and spell something, or he behaves.
Yeah, strange.
With the kind of say, oh, this is why you don't get into any trouble.
And because sometimes I see that especially young people, that they get arrested on the street because they don't know, because they behave different, and the police thinks, oh, he's behaving different, I'm gonna arrest him because maybe he done something wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you are say ya kika bibre na me born top kakra about 18 years in the machi mu dada o machi o akola or your handicap, a man feel said that is it. Woman that don't hear help. There might be pray or opportunities be pray or I won't be sad. It's yes, my programming, no may